Hello, everyone. Today we're going to talk about slopes of parallel lines and perpendicular lines. So the slope formula is something you did in 8th grade and when you were doing algebra. So the slope of a line is the ratio of vertical change to horizontal change, also known as the rate of change. So you can think of the slope formula as rise over run, or we learned this formula where it's y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. And what's really important is that the corresponding points are on top of each other. So I want you to pause and try to do this next example and come back. So hopefully you tried this example, paused. So what I want to do is I want to find the slope. And remember, M always stands for slope. So if I label these points x1, y1, x2, y2, because remember in a point, x always comes first. What I'm going to do is I'm going to do 4 minus negative 6 over negative 2 minus 4. So notice my points are on top of each other. Negative 2, 4, and 4, negative 6. So then I do that arithmetic. 4 minus negative 6 is 10. Negative 2 minus 4 is negative 6. And then I can reduce that, and my slope is negative 5/3. Remember that a line going up from left to right is a positive slope. Down from left to right is negative. Horizontal is a zero slope. And vertical is undefined. Two vertical lines are always parallel. A vertical and a horizontal line are always perpendicular. They will always meet at a right angle. Parallel means they will never cross. Perpendicular means they meet at a right angle. I'm writing those down for you. If two lines have the same slope, so that means if two lines have a slope of 1/2, they're parallel. If two lines have negative reciprocal slopes, they are perpendicular. So negative reciprocal, if I have 1/2, the negative reciprocal is negative 2 over 1. I change the sign and I flip it. So now we're going to try to do this example. So the line containing negative 4, 9, which I can plot, and 4, 3. So that's a line, so I'm going to use the line tool because that gives me a better line. And then I want the line containing negative 8, 1, and 4y. Ooh, 4y. I want to find y, knowing that those two are parallel. So there's a couple ways I can do it. I can use the slope formula, or I can use the graph. Remember, when I'm finding slope on a graph, what I want to do is I want to pick 2 points, and I want to count my rise over my run. So I always go from left to right. So I'm going to go down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and over 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Now, why did I make that negative 6? Because that was down. So my slope is negative 6 over 8. So now what I can do is from my point over here, I can find other points. I can reduce that and say that's negative 3 over 4 because I divide both by 2. I can start on my point here and go down 3 over 4. There's a new dot. I can go down 3 over 4. There's a new dot. I can go down 3 over 4. There's a new dot. And I can keep doing that. And I get that line. So when I draw that line, connecting those, to answer what y is then, I want to look where x is 4. So where x is 4 is on this point right here. So that's y equals negative 8. Now I can do that algebraically as well. So I can use my slope formula. So I can say that the slope is negative 3/4. So I can say negative 3 over 4 equals 1 minus y over negative 8 minus 4. And then do what I can. So it's 1 minus y over negative 12. And then cross multiply. And I get 36 equals 4 times 1 minus y in parentheses. I distribute, subtract 4, you get 32 equals negative 4y, divide by negative 4, and I get y equals negative 8. I think it's easiest to use the graph, but it's up to you. So I want you to pause, and I want you to try to do 1 and 2, and then come back. Okay. So number 1, I had a graph, so I started on t and I went to w, so I went down 2 over 1, so my slope is negative 2 over 1. Number 2, I used the formula, which again is y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. So I did negative 4 minus negative 2 over 5 minus negative 5, and I got negative 1/5. If you did it the other way around and did negative 2 minus negative 4 over negative 5 minus 5, you would have also gotten negative 1/5. It doesn't matter the order. What matters is that your points are on top of each other. So negative 5 goes with negative 2 in both scenarios. So now we want to decide if AB and MN are parallel, perpendicular, or neither. Graph each line to verify my answer. So what I can do is I can first find their slopes. So again, remember my slope formula is y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. So I can label everything x1, y1, x2, y2, because first I'm going to do AB. Oops, that's a very messy B. So I'm going to do negative 5 minus 4 over 2 minus negative 1. So that's negative 9 over 3. Then I'm going to do MN. So again, I'm going to do x1, y1, x2, y2. So I'm going to do 0 minus 2 over 3 minus negative 3. And there I got negative 2 over 6. Those are not the same. And negative 9 over 3 is actually negative 3. This is negative 1/3. So AB and MN are neither. They are almost perpendicular because they're reciprocals, but they're not negative. And if I graph those, there's AB. You can see that they do in fact cross, but they don't make a right angle. So now I'm going to try this pair. So first I'm going to do AB, which is going to be negative 6 minus negative 8 over 4 minus negative 4. So that gives me 2 over 8, which is 1/4. And then MN, negative 3 minus 5 over negative 1 minus negative 3. So that's negative 8 over 2, which is negative 4 over 1. Those are perpendicular. And if I graph them, I'm going to graph them in blue so we can tell the difference. Can't quite fit it. It's up a little bit. So it gives me that line. And then I graphed that top line wrong. Sorry about that. Let me fix that because I'm looking at it and I'm going, those two lines aren't perpendicular. But I graphed that top line wrong. So let's fix that. that top point, it's -4, -8. So it's -4, -8. So it's -4, -8. And those two cross to form a right angle. So they are indeed perpendicular. Oops, there was our other graph. So we will finish up 5 and 6 tomorrow in class. If you have any questions, please bring them.